Hey guys, welcome back to Open Discussion. So, if you already know or don't know, Game of Thrones, the last season is about to come out soon. Super pumped for that. Probably going to be doing some more podcasts when that comes out. But before we talk about Game of Thrones, or before we do that episode, let's talk about The Quiet Place. Now, I recently came across this movie thanks to Hulu. My girlfriend got the Hulu. So I watched that tonight, and I gotta say, I like the movie a lot. I liked it a lot. It definitely reminded me of that Netflix movie that a lot of people have been talking about. I watched that movie several times as well, but I can definitely see a lot of similarities between that and The Quiet Place. So for this quick video, I kind of just wanted to go over my quick thoughts on on the movie. What I liked, what I disliked, and then I wanted to talk about where did these creatures come from, and also some other theories and things I've read from the Reddit. So first out, let's go ahead and go over my review of The Quiet Place. Now, for me, I definitely liked it a lot. It was a good horror movie. I like that. I like the concept of not being able to make a sound, especially with all the hardships of having kids and a upcoming baby during this time, which was crazy. During the movie, I was not sure if the mother was going to live or not, especially when she hit her foot on that nail in the basement. I was like, oh crap, game over, she's going to die. But surprisingly, she lived at the end, which was good. The husband, I kind of expected him to die, and of course he did die, saving the kids. That was cool. The youngest boy, the one who died at the beginning, I did not like him at all. Like, at all, guys. I did not like that kid at all. When he died, I was super happy. I was like, dude, that was pretty much natural selection. Like, you keep trying to play with these toys, and everybody's going to be silent. Yeah, I did not like the little boy at all. The other two people I did like. The girl, initially I wasn't liking her as much for giving the little boy the rocket at the beginning, and then some of her attitude throughout, but it kind of made sense. She felt that her dad, I guess, didn't love her anymore because of giving the youngest kid the rocket, which ended up killing him when he was playing with it. So on that, I definitely understand. And also too, with her not being able to actually hear, that would be a detriment, going out to find new items, to find food, etc. The little boy, the other boy, the medium, I guess I'll call him the medium kid, I liked him a lot. For the most part, some parts I thought he was acting too scary, but then I had to realize he was a kid and not everybody's, super brave, especially against those monster things. And then I started thinking about myself when I was a little kid and how I would feel. And yeah, I definitely feel for him. I'm pretty sure I would be super scared as well. The dad, I liked him a lot. Super cool, good dad for the most part. Did his thing. Unfortunately, he died saving his kids. But hey, I guess that's what he signed up for having kids. I guess that's what you do. You sign up for when you have kids. So you made a sacrifice for them. I don't have any kids yet, but I'm pretty sure I would too. Yeah. And the mom, I liked her too. She was a go-getter throughout that whole movie, especially having to not try to yell from hitting that nail to having a baby at that time and then trying to take care of that baby. I was like, when the baby was in the basement with her and the whole basement was pretty much being drowned by the water by that broken pipe, I was for sure that baby was going to die. I was so surprised that she went down there to get her baby, because that was close. That was very close. But she stuck around, stayed for her kids, beasting with the shotty at the end, killing that monster. All in all, excellent. So overall, I did like the movie. I like the concept. I like the characters for the most part, except the little kid. I like the main little kid from the beginning. That's the only person I didn't really like. But everybody else, I pretty much like for the most part. The action, the plot, I think was done very well. Same as the cinematography in it. When I first started watching it, I really thought my TV was like messing up. So I'm like turning up higher, and then I'm like, oh crap. Yeah, this is the quiet place. Probably they had to be super silent. I thought there was something wrong with my screen. I did like how they set up little foreshadowing parts throughout the movie, so you can kind of get an idea on maybe how dangerous these creatures are. Also, too, what I liked about this movie is that they actually showed these creatures, and they kind of showed it right from the start. These big, blind, gorilla insect things, for the most part, that was killing people who were making sounds, or killing or destroying anything that was making a sound. I did like that they actually showed it, because a lot of horror movies like this, they tend not to show the monster, or if they do show the monster or different things like that, they show them like later, like way at the end. So it was pretty cool to see it right from the beginning. So you kind of have that fear for everybody and kind of understand why they're so scared, why the little kids are so scared, especially. But yeah, that was pretty much my main thoughts on the movie. I haven't thought about the movie too much for me to have any like super negative things to say about it. I'm really trying to think about some negative things I didn't like about the movie outside of the first kid. Maybe if I really can't think of anything at the moment. If I do think of anything, I'll go back. But yeah, this is the open podcast. This is super live when I'm talking right now. There's no edits. We're just talking. So now let's go ahead and talk about where did the creatures come from. So first off, we're going to go ahead and talk about where I believe the creatures are from. And then after that, we'll look at some of the Reddit posts and see where they believe some of these creatures came from. So initially, when I watched the movie, I missed the newspaper clipping stating there was like a meteor hitting New Mexico, or meteors hitting the Earth, or New Mexico, or different places. So when I initially watched it, I was unsure. I was thinking, okay, maybe these creatures could be something from like the sea, something like below ground or something like that. Because we did see a creature. Who could swim. So I'm pretty positive they all can swim. And apparently, being underwater, you're able to hear better, or at least hear the echoes and different things like that. So it kind of made sense for this creature to be from the sea, especially it being blind and whatnot. So that's what I thought initially. And then when I heard about that, I'm like, okay, I could see meteors hitting the Earth. Let's say there's multiple ones, like several hitting different places throughout the Earth. And these things could be eggs, or could be little babies, and maybe they creep out, and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're killing people stealthily. And before you know, you got a whole bunch of these different things in a whole lot of different places killing people. And before you know it, everybody's pretty much dead. The other theory was that it was only one meteor. Now, if it was just one meteor, again, it could be a whole bunch of those little things, little eggs maybe, that maybe was able to fly off while the meteor was, in our Earth's atmosphere and going through that, hitting Earth. And then from there, they probably grew up and started killing people. So yeah, I definitely can see them being aliens, coming from the meteors. But I still kind of think that they actually may be from Earth. Maybe I can kind of still see that. I can kind of still see that they're actually from the Earth. Maybe we thought it was from the meteors, but maybe during that time when the meteors came down, maybe just around that time too, these creatures from the ground started coming up, which would also explain if the whole world is like this. If these creatures were already on Earth underneath the oceans, it definitely makes sense on how fast they're able to take over the whole entire world instead of just, a city or a state. So yeah, that's where I pretty much believe, for the most part, where these creatures come from. Now, I've also been looking at some Reddit posts, and I wanted to kind of go over some of these other theories I've seen on there. One of the theories I'm looking at now is that kind of what I was talking about, how when the meteor came down, like the spores fell to Earth wherever the wind took them, and then from there they started to fully grow. And I'm reading one right now. It's pretty much saying that from here, then the government initially just regarded the New Mexico meteor impact as just like an ordinary meteor strike. So they didn't get, they didn't really think about it being anything major. We have asteroids and meteors and stuff hit stuff before. Then people started disappearing all across the continent as aliens stealthily hunted and consumed to increase their biomass. By the time the government caught on, the infestation had already reached a tipping point and was unstoppable. The creatures were everywhere. The war was lost before the human race even realized they were fighting one. That one I definitely liked a lot, and it kind of came along with what I was kind of thinking, that we probably just didn't know how major these things were. We probably didn't even see these things until kind of too late. Kind of already spread across the world. And as was stated in the movie, or I guess was shown in the movie, these creatures had armor plates. So apparently they were pretty dang impervious, or pervious, or whatever the correct term for that, to bullet fire, if I'm not mistaken. So I can definitely see that. At least their armor is. Their inner bodies aren't. Because we did see one of those creatures get its head shot off by the mom with the shotgun, thanks to the daughter using the little ear device. I forgot the name of it. The hearing aid, which helped out, which I thought was cool too. That actually being able to save them, and how she did not know that until right at the end. Like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and try this out. Talking about that too, if she would have realized that they could that could disrupt those creatures, she could have saved her dad, but yeah, she didn't know. So that, like that scene when she turned that thing off, or turned her hearing aid off, I was like, dang, the dad's gonna die. The dad's gonna die. I was hoping that she was gonna keep it on, and maybe the dad will see, oh crap, that device can maybe kill these things, and then he maybe he gets one for everybody in the house, but his messes up or something, and then he dies. So I knew he was gonna die, but yeah, at that part I wasn't for sure he was gonna die right then or there. But yeah, as soon as he turned that thing off, I was like, yeah, he's gonna die. So let me go ahead and talk about a second one I'm looking at now on Reddit. This one is saying that these creatures, they're like biological weapons, which were left over from the Third World War. Maybe Russian, but that's just conjecture. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read the next part too that this person wrote on Reddit. Given that all it takes to kill the monsters is some feedback and shotgun, I don't think they're powerful enough to have destroyed society by themselves, especially not as rapidly as they seem to have done. So I think society collapsed under massive warfare, and the monsters are just remnants of that war. Now, I think that is actually a pretty good theory. Now, for this movie, I doubt the director was actually thinking about that, but I like that theory a lot. I think that will actually be a fun video game where you play like a soldier for the United States, which is regular people, and you see this third big war going on. This one, again, World War, we're actually getting attacked here in America. And then at the end, these creatures that one side created are pretty much spread loose to either A, take out anybody else, or to cause a nation to not be able to grow again because you got these freaking things killing everybody. Or B, these things got uncontrolled. Something had happened, maybe U.S., for example, maybe we could have created these things and we lost control. And now these things are just running rampant all throughout the United States. So I definitely like that theory a lot. I'm looking at some of the comments on that too. And a lot of people are saying, they can definitely see that too. Though apparently, I guess the director also stated that in his podcast, like that these things are alien. So I guess in that case, my theory would also be wrong. Because if they're alien, then I guess they're not from the Earth. Well, see, that's the thing too, because technically speaking, alien is something that's unknown, right? Like a UFO is a unidentified flying object, but technically speaking, if you don't know what that is, you could call it a UFO, right? If it's an unidentified flying object. But yeah, I thought that was a good theory too. Everybody's fighting each other. The world is pretty much going downhill. Everybody's almost dead from the war and probably a whole bunch of atomic bombs or other weaponry, and then you got these things to worry about. So yeah, I can definitely see that too. And also, let me go ahead and bring up another one. And there's another one I was looking at. Let me go ahead and read this real quick. It's saying A Quiet Place is actually a sequel of the film Life. Life was made in 2016, which the alien thingy in the movie Life came to Earth. Both alien creature in the movie was blind and going after signs. Both movies use a very similar soundtrack. Now, I don't think I've actually seen Life. Let me go ahead and bring that up real quick. Let's see if I've seen Life before. Ooh, let's see if we've seen Life. Okay, I'm looking at it now. I'm looking at the photos from the movie. I'm not for sure if I actually seen this movie or not. It looks actually kind of familiar. Got Jake Gyllenhaal. I may have seen this movie, but Life. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I think I actually have seen Life now. Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal, Ferguson, and Reynolds. Yeah, I actually think I have seen Life before. I never thought The Quiet Place and Life was the same, but now thinking about it, for the people who haven't seen Life, let me go ahead and bring up the synopsis of the film. But pretty much, it's a movie about these astronauts who go out of space, and they pretty much get this extraterrestrial, and it's like a little small thing, and then it grows and it kills everybody. And yeah, and then it gets unfortunately, it gets sent to the Earth because I'm not trying to spoil the movie, but yeah, this thing does get to the Earth by some means. And this theory is pretty much saying that this is right after that. I could see that actually. Maybe this thing kills the rescuers who's looking into this thing, and then this alien thing just grows or goes in the water, reproduce, and just goes ham. I can definitely see that. But yeah, here's the synopsis of Life real quick for the people who haven't seen it. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station are on the cutting edge of one of the most important discoveries in human history, the first evidence of extraterrestrial life on Mars. As members of the crew conduct their research, the rapidly evolving life form proves far more intelligent and terrifying than anyone could have imagined. Yeah, so it's pretty much a synopsis of the film of Life. I could see some similarities between the two, but I'm not gonna lie. When I was watching The Quiet Place, I was not thinking about that movie at all. So hey, it could be. We don't know. And the last one I want to talk about too, on where these creatures came from, was a good one too. I read on Reddit. Pretty much, they're saying that this movie is part of the Cloverfield universe. Now, I do like this a lot. I'm a big fan of the Cloverfield series, especially the first one. I remember watching the first one when I was young. I thought it was so cool. It was back during that time when those like first person point of view movies were really big, especially for horror movies and different things like that. Paranormal movies, Paranormal Activity, that big movie that everybody watched back then. So yeah, I was a big fan of the Cloverfield. I was a super big fan. And also too, Cloverfield Lane, I really liked a lot too. So this being in the Cloverfield universe, I think that would actually be cool. we do know that there's multiple different creatures. You got that big, huge one. You got smaller ones. You got this one. You got those. So there also being these type of creatures who can't see but can only hear. I think that would also be cool, and I can definitely see that actually being part of the Cloverfield universe. I was also looking at some of the comments too, and apparently the director or somebody had stated that they originally pushed this movie as part of the Cloverfield universe. So hey, that could actually be something. Now, we are getting a Quiet Place 2 in 2020, so next year sometime. And we'll probably learn more about where these creatures come from, or probably more about some of the other people. But yeah, if this turns out to be part of Cloverfield, maybe on the second one we see like a Cloverfield Lane or Cloverfield City or something like that, I think that would be a cool touch. And before I forget to, let's quickly talk about A Quiet Place 2. So the ending of this one, A Quiet Place, and of course we have been talking about little spoilers, but yeah, we're gonna be talking about some spoilers some more. So now, since we only got the mom left and the two kids and the baby, this one could be a direct sequel. Maybe this smaller family is looking, to survive. Maybe they come across another family. Maybe it's just them. Maybe there's more people. But I can definitely see the sequel being a direct one to this, where now they're doing more of the hunting against these creatures now. Maybe they got like a little whole village now of people who now know the weakness, and they're all trying to kill these creatures. Also, too, when they were on top of that little corn mill thing, there were other lights, other fires in the distance. So it pretty much says that there are other humans alive, and they're not too far away from them. These other people, they probably were there helping out this family in this movie with supplies, scavenging, and different things like that. They probably did a lot of trading with each other, but obviously they're all not together, because that would be stupid, because if one person make a sound, they're pretty much all dead. So it's smart to be spread out. But yeah, this sequel could also be it could be with any of those other families, which I think would also be cool to see another person's or another family's perspective on these creatures. And it doesn't have to necessarily be in that area, though that would be cool if they tied those two together, like another family who hears some of this, sees the fireworks maybe in one part of the movie, and like they run and they go a different way. And then some creatures may end up finding them in this new place. So I think that would be cool if they tied the two together like that or something like that. But yeah, this sequel, it can pretty much be anywhere in America. Maybe right from square one in New Mexico, or maybe from a soldier's perspective. That would be interesting too, against these things. And you see that the military didn't lose. The military is maybe using these creatures, or maybe they have their own fortifications everywhere throughout the world. They're all good touches. But also too, something I wouldn't mind either is if the next one is actually a prequel, kind of similar how the Final Destination 5 did theirs. Maybe we go through a journey, and at the end we come across, maybe at the end the survivors on this sequel come across the old man and old lady in the movie. The one with the older lady was pretty much, she was dead. She was dead on the ground, and the old man was there, and then he started screaming and he died. It would be cool if somehow maybe they tied it to that. Maybe maybe these new people, maybe they put the movie in a way that it looks like it's going to be a sequel, and these people, whoever these people are going to be, the main cast of the second one, maybe the last one or the last group or whatever, they end up dying in that same forest with that older girl who also died too. And then it ends with that old guy screaming or something, and then he gets captured, or it ends with, the father and the son from this movie running away, and then that old guy screaming and dies. I think that would be kind of cool. Again, that's kind of something from the Final Destination 5. How on the Final Destination 5, you think it's just a sequel, just like the other movies, but you find out that the Final Destination 5 is actually a prequel, which I thought was cool. And at the end, the plane blows up, just how it started in the first Final Destination. So I thought that would be a cool little touch there. But yeah, guys, that's kind of my quick thoughts on The Quiet Place, or A Quiet Place. My review, my quick thoughts on it, and where I think the creatures come from, and where I'm kind of thinking the sequel may head to. Anyways, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And yeah, if you're a fan of The Quiet Place, or A Quiet Place, or you're a fan of my place, but now, if you're a fan of the movie, you should go ahead and let me know your theories on the movie. Where do you think these creatures come from? And also, too, where do you think this sequel will go? Do you think it will be focused on this family here? Or do you think it will be focused on another family? Or soldier? Or maybe just a couple? Let me know in the comment section below. Peace.